Another win for the Spiders. Good homecoming Saturday at Robbins Stadium, 38-31 over Albany. Spiders led 38-10, and they survive and advance. Now 7 straight wins. Still unbeaten in the conference, heading up to New Hampshire Saturday at 3 o'clock. So, Coach, I kind of used this line on some of the folks in the restaurant half hour or so ago, and they kind of liked it. But you're the litmus test. You're the guy here. So about Saturday, we may have lost to human nature, but we didn't lose to Albany. Fair enough?
Well, I don't know, Bob. I don't know if I agree with that. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I mean, I
told you guys.
I can appreciate like the rationale, behind that. But here's why I think I have to disagree with that. Because we led 24-7 and we led 38-10. So, like, there's a reality that the biggest concern would be in a game like that after coming off an emotional win like we had the week before, is that you'd come out flat and not ready to play. Well, I don't think you can say that, So I don't think that can be said about this game right here. It's a very interesting point. But when we went up 38-10, there was kind of a reality in that moment that we were very much in control. And I think the thing that is the most valuable thing moving forward is just a reality that, just like the week before, we had a mindset to finish the game and play 60 minutes. The Albany team had that mindset at this game. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like we came out flat or we came out not ready to play, but we played an opponent that was truly committed to playing 60 minutes of football. And maybe in that moment of 38-10, we kind of took a step back. Now, it's always like this. It ends up just being one play. If it's not the kickoff return for touchdown, I don't think they're not going to score quickly enough to cut into a 28-point lead. You know what I mean? So I think that as I looked at it, the biggest thing from my perspective was, have them ready to play, have them come out with enough energy to be able to take control of the game. We did, and then on the back end, we just gave them opportunities to kind of get back into the football game. And to their credit, though, they were able to do it. And they fought. They had great energy, great enthusiasm, great emotion, down the stretch. And it's the nature of CAA football, and it's the nature of college football. I think it's one of the things we all really like about the game.
And as you said, both before the game and after the game, sure helped to be at home.
Well, you're right, Bob. And that was kind of my comfort zone, if you will, heading into the game. I kind of, to your point, I do think that game on the road, really could have had a hard time starting the way it started. I don't think we would have jumped up on them, like we did, if that game was on the road. So, the confines and the comfort of being at home, the support, the homecoming, even when they had their momentum, personally, I never felt like we were in jeopardy of not winning the football game. I certainly felt like it was getting very tight, but remained very confident. Whereas on the road, you might not quite have that same feeling of comfort and confidence as you try to close out the game. But again, at the very end, when we had to, we controlled the ball. Mm-hmm. And there was no doubt that there was a dominance in those moments in our ability to control the ball and finish the game. And, it was a perfect storm, for them to get back in it. The kickoff return, the interception, the fumble, the quick change of possessions gave them enough momentum to kind of make a run at us, and they certainly did do that.
In a normal game, quote unquote, our headliner, and we'd be talking about him, and we're going to talk about him, would be Jacoby Green again. 34 carries, 186 yards. He scores 2 touchdowns. I thought he had the key run of the game, the play I think you're referring to at the end, one play to get a first down, to run out the clock and smash mouth football, and Jacoby gets it, and he's on the front page again like he was 2 weeks ago against JMU. But then
not so fast,
my friend. Very good.
Yeah, not so
ESPN Game Day. That is very. You're Lee Corso's successor there, aren't
not
you?
So fast,
not
Bob.
so fast, my friend.
David Jones was phenomenal, and you could be involved in this for a long time, a number of years as a coach, as a spectator. as a fan and not really witness what you saw out there on Saturday with David's performance. And, we've all seen, we saw Omar Howard, I think, have 20 or 21 tackles one game this year, when it was all said and done. I think it was Rhode Island maybe. He was credited with 18, 19. I think Manny had him for 20 or 21. But, you see that, during the course of the year. You see a guy just have an unbelievable productive day where he's around the ball, he's tackled. He seems to be involved in every play, but to take the ball away 5 times is, that's 5 possessions totally ruined by one player. And, he's a gifted athlete. And, like I was saying earlier after the game, you got to know where he is back there as a quarterback. You've got to be aware of where you're putting that ball, and he's got such good make-up speed and such good length and range. And he's got a great eye-hand coordination. He's got a great knack for being able to play the ball in the air and catch the ball. And, the thing that was odd to me is that he intercepted 4 and he didn't score. Because, this guy is fast. And usually when he gets into the open field like that, there's a chance if he has any edge or real estate on the sideline that he outruns the offense in pursuit right there. So that was probably the only thing that surprised me there at the end, that he didn't get loose for a touchdown.
Well, a couple of them would have been 100-yard returns, right? Because he stopped 2 drives.
2 in the end zone, yeah.
2 in the end zone. I thought the 3rd interception where he was able to kind of tiptoe that back line and stay in was a key one, right?
Yeah, and then if I'm not mistaken, the one down the middle of the field where he went up was right after we had given them the ball back. So we threw an interception, and then we got the ball right back with David. So he was single-handedly, taking the momentum away from, Albany as they were trying to make a run there toward the end of the football game.
And the rub to all of this is that David Jones and Jacoby Green are roommates. I can imagine what the trash talk was like in that room Saturday night after that game.
I think there's trash talk every night in that room right there. But those are 2 really fine young men and really committed student athletes, and really excited to have both of them on our team. And then, excited to have another season with David Jones. I think that, his name is getting out there right now with his production, and, he's one of those guys that, has a chance to advance his career. He's got to get a little bigger, a little stronger, but he's got an ability to do some things that are very rare, in the college game.
I alluded to the Jacoby Green run, end of the game. You needed, I think, 3 yards for a first down, and they didn't have enough timeouts at that point to stop the clock, and there was nothing fancy about that play, was there, Coach? It was just, here's the ball, number 1, go win the game for us behind your offensive line.
It's we've been able to do it this year, which is really exciting, and in particular the last couple of weeks, I go back to the game down at JMU. Our ability and our confidence to just run the ball downhill was phenomenal that night. And in the biggest moments here, against Albany, we were able to do the same thing and, control the line of scrimmage. And there's a lot of confidence and peace that goes with that reality, knowing that odds are in your favor to be able to pick up those 3rd and short, yardage situations, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, with the comfort of being able to go ahead and run the ball down the hill. So, I think Coach McCork was doing a really good job. I think Caleb High's here today.
Supposed to be. Yes.
Okay, hello, Caleb. We're waiting on him to listen to us on the radio as he's driving in here. But, he's having a really good year. The line's having a really good year. Those 5 guys have stayed intact here, and they've got experience working together, confidence working together, familiarity with each other, and they're smart and they're physical, and they're taking pride in their performance right now. We need to continue to kind of build on that.
And then the other guy who gets lost in the shuffle for 178 yards receiving, we haven't even mentioned Brian Brown's name yet. The last 2 weeks for him are just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's doing something that's unusual, in college football and in this league. I was looking at some statistics. I don't look at statistics a lot until the season's over, but I was looking at his 100-yard games. In the CAA, they have all the receivers and who's had 100-yard games, and Brian's up there like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And that's just a shocking statistic. And he's getting in behind people. And I think it's the balance that we've had to this point, our ability to run the ball, to force those safeties to have to come downhill to tackle the ball carriers, is forcing and putting a lot of conflict on them run pass. And, there's a situation right here where Kyle's getting the ball out there and Brian and Reggie are able to go up and get the football. So right now it's a nice formula. We certainly have to keep it going, but I think it starts with the ability to run the ball. Last year we were a little more pass first, and then all of a sudden, if you're out of rhythm, you're just flat out of rhythm. You can't get into any comfort zone with that. Oh, there they are right there. Look at that.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. You're right. But our ability to run the ball, I think, has really allowed us to enjoy some of the successes to this point.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned Kyle, and I think you said it on our post-game show after the game, and you just mentioned it again. The rhythm, maybe out of rhythm a little bit for Kyle. He's been so good for so long this season. What does he do to go back to kind of tweaking and get back in rhythm so there's not 3 interceptions?
Yeah, that's a good question. Coach Fisher, obviously is in Kyle's ear, between series, just kind of rehashing everything, and I communicate with Kyle when he comes off the field, and we got a little out of rhythm. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think we just got to go ahead and recognize in those moments that he didn't have to make plays for us to have to win the game or try to win the game. We were in control of the game in those moments. It was more just, allowing the offense to sustain a drive and to stay on the field. Didn't have to throw the ball down the field. He had some check downs he could have gone to just to secure the first down, move the chains, keep the clock running. So in some ways, the game changes as the game evolves, and in those moments, he needed to play the game a little bit differently and be a little less concerned about taking that shot down the field and a little more aware of the clock, the game situation, and just the importance of our ability to possess the football.
All right, we'll let Andrew and Caleb order lunch first before we bring them up to the table, make sure they get something to drink and get their food ordered. We'll talk to Ivan, then we'll take a break, and then the fellas will come up and join us. So that'll give them a few minutes to order off of that menu. I know Caleb probably knows it by heart because the offensive linemen are here every week anyway, so it shouldn't be too difficult for him. All right, Ivan, thanks for waiting. You're up with Coach Rocco. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Coach. How you both doing today?
Hey, Ivan. How are you? Hey, Ivan, you were right on the World Series call. That was well done last week.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyway, well, congratulations on a great team victory this past Saturday.
Thank you.
Because I know that I was getting a little concerned when I got to 38-31. I said, okay, this is going to be what the team will show what they're made of, and you show that you got a team that did not buckle when the score got tight.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And, what a great reality, though, about, football, sports in general, but you got to find a way to win. And I think good teams, I said this, I'm pretty sure, to Bob on the post game, but, good teams find a way to win. And I think I've got a good team, and we found a way to win. And we've been finding ways to win. And it's not always the same formula. It's not always, pretty. But we're finding different ways to get it done. And, in a day where we weren't quite as in sync offensively, and we did some things with the ball and turning it over that we hadn't been doing, well, oddly enough, our defense rises up and gets 6 takeaways, So it totally offset the possibility of those 4 turnovers, really impacting the result or the outcome of the game. So every week it looks a little bit different, but when you win, you get to continue to advance, and as you recognize here, the only thing that matters right now is trying to accumulate as many wins as you can, and we're sitting in a really good spot right now at 7-1. And I kind of said all along, I think that you need 8 wins to feel like you really are legitimately in the postseason. Even though I've had 5 years where I had 8 wins or more and didn't get in, but that's for another day. But I think 8 wins get you in, and we're sitting here at 7, and we've got to be able to secure victory. The sooner the better. And this will be a great opportunity this week up at New Hampshire.
I was just going to ask, what can you tell us about New Hampshire? How good are they? And what can you tell us about New Hampshire? What we should be looking out for? And are you worried about this being like a trap game for going into next week's game?
Yeah, this is not a trap game. New Hampshire really has done in FCS football what very few people have been able to do throughout the country at any level. There's only a handful of teams that have kind of experienced the consistency of success that they have had here over the last decade. And Sean has just done a great job with the program and building the program. And it almost seems like from year to year the names change, but the product really doesn't change all that much. Now, in saying that, last year they really had a good team, probably one of the better teams in the stretch, as they were the number one seed in the FCS playoffs, and lost in the national semifinals. This team doesn't have quite the depth of talent. They have plenty of talent, but just not quite the depth of talent. So they're asking fewer people to do more things. They don't have quite the depth at running back that they had last year, but the running backs really at the wide receiver position, but they have a really good receiver, but last year they had more of a 1-2 punch. And kind of the same thing across the board. So they're very physical, very talented. Had a year ago, and they're good at home, and this is a very big game for both teams. There's 1,000 different ways to look at this one right here. But from our perspective, we've got to find a way to go on the road and to secure a victory, and we've got to do whatever it takes here to go up there and find a way to win. And I really expect it to be an outstanding football game.
One question I want to ask about the future of Division I AA football. Do you see any teams coming up like from Division II to try to go up to Division I AA? Or I know there's been rumors that Madison may go to Division I A, but do you see any teams like from Division II want to move up to Division I AA?
Here's what I see happening, Ivan. I see that what's going to happen is, right now at the Division I level, there are really 3 layers. All right, there's 3 layers to what we know as Division I. There's the BCS. The BCS is the Power 5 conferences that I think we're all familiar with. And then there's the FBS. All right, the FBS schools are Division I. They're playing with 85 scholarships, but they're not in the Power 5. So the FBS schools are more like the American East and Conference USA and the Sun Belt and the MAC, just to name a few of those conferences. And then there is I see the BCS kind of breaking away. I see them taking the ball and just going and playing their own game and isolating themselves from the rest of Division I. So instead of looking for Division II teams to move up to FCS, what I see happening is the FBS and the FCS schools start to become more united in terms of the scholarships and the conferences and the geography and things along those lines, because in a lot of ways the good FCS programs, and there's a lot of them in the CAA, they're very comparable to a lot of the FBS schools. They're just doing it with 63 scholarships instead of 85. So once there's an agreement upon what that number might be, maybe it's 72, something like that. Then all of a sudden the BCS is out there doing what they want to do. Then the FCS and some of these FBS schools kind of come together. So there's more regional games. There's a lot more ability to generate a great product without having to go down to the Division II schools to see if they want to make the commitments financially to move up to FCS. Great question, though, Ivan.
Thanks, Ivan.
Please game, Coach. I'll become a great team victory.
All right, thanks a lot, Ivan.
Okay.
Good stuff. First segment in the books. We'll take a timeout. Caleb High, Andrew Clyde will join us here at the head table, talk some Spider football with us as the Spider Sports Line continues on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5, and the Spider IMG Sports Network. We are powered by Ace Electric.
Have you been dreaming about a new deck, screen, porch, or room addition? Make it happen by calling Atadec at 285-4239. Atadec doesn't just build decks. Of course, we can build your new deck or renovate your old one, but we also build beautiful screen porches, open porches, sunrooms, and other room additions, and have been for over 25 years. We can design it, build it, and turn your dream into reality. Visit Atadec on the web at atadec.com or call 285-4239 today. That's 285-4239 for additions and decks by Atadec.
We know what it's like, that persistent nagging feeling that will only go away when you get away. For those with a passion for travel, there's the new Discover It Miles card. You earn unlimited 1.5 miles for every dollar you spend, and you can fly any airline anytime with no blackout dates. Just buy your ticket and use miles to credit your statement. Apply now and Discover will double your miles at the end of your first year. So go on, scratch that travel itch. Get the new Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Double miles for new card members only. Learn more at discover.com/miles.
100 years is a long time, and Luck Chevrolet is celebrating their 100-year anniversary. Let them use their century of experience to help you find your next Silverado, Suburban, Impala, Malibu, Equinox, or commercial upfit vehicle. Luck Chevrolet uses their vast knowledge of GM vehicles to help you maintain and service your vehicle, to keep it on the road longer and help preserve its value. So for Chevrolet sales, service, or parts, go where experience reigns supreme. Luck Chevrolet in Ashland and online at luckchevrolet.com. Proud Spider sponsors and proud to be family owned since 1916.
Hey guys, this is Big Alan. I want to talk to you about something serious, prostate cancer. 1 in 7 of us will develop it. I know firsthand because I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Fortunately, I was diagnosed early, and when caught early, it's treatable. I went to Virginia Urology where my doctor discussed my options, listened to my concerns, and took care of me in a thorough and professional manner. So if you're over 40, have a family history, or are African American, you need to talk to your doctor about an annual prostate cancer screening. Call Virginia Urology, 288-0339, or go to virginiaurology.com.
If you're craving lunch and Richmond football, you've come to the right place. Outback Steakhouse, 7917 West Broad Street. This is the Spider Sports Line on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5, and the Spider IMG Sports Network, powered by Ace Electric.
Spiders blitz on 3rd and 12, and they've got themselves a quarterback sack. Andrew Clyde turns the Albany quarterback head over heels with his 3rd quarterback sack of the season. Andrew Clyde, he definitely has a knack of getting there. A lot of guys get pressure. They get there, they get the pressure, but they don't finish it off. When Andrew Clyde gets there, he gets that sack.
And now Andrew Clyde has gotten here to Outback Steakhouse, one of our Spider player guests today. Andrew Clyde on my right and Caleb High on my left. Welcome, fellas. Appreciate you hustling over from campus to get here. Let's start with you, Andrew, since we played the highlight of the sack on Saturday. We've talked about this before. Is that the ultimate feeling for a defensive lineman? We talk so much about you've been getting pressure. David Jones mentioned it with the interceptions, but to actually get the sack.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I think if you were probably to talk to a D lineman, I think an interception would be amazing. But the things that are actually, likely, yeah, sacks are about as good as they get.
When is that coming?
Hopefully soon.
I think we had Winston Craig, right? And we talked about his interception.
Yep.
And you're right. That's probably the ultimate for a defensive lineman. Give me just an analysis of how you feel your freshman year has gone, the playing time, the stats that you're putting up, the impact that you're helping make on the defensive side of the ball.
I think it's been going pretty well. There's an obvious transition from playing high school ball to a redshirt year and then getting thrown out first game against Maryland. So it was definitely a transition, but I feel like I've been able to handle that well and, contribute in a positive manner.
I assume you agree with that analysis, Coach?
Yeah, Andrew's got a really, really bright future, and he's doing a great job. I mean, these guys, they don't know how much I depend on them to go out there and fight, and this defensive line is doing a really good job. We're a little thin when it comes to numbers and, veteran players. But the guys that we're putting in the game are warriors, and Andrew is certainly one of them. And, he's got a unique blend of strength and power, and then athleticism and speed. And, that's unique. A lot of guys are more pluggers and they're run stoppers. Other guys are kind of more, edge setters and speed rushers. And then, Andrew's got the ability to do both extremely well. So really excited about his contribution and his commitment to the program.
Hey, Andrew, I know we've moved on, certainly, from JMU. It's a couple weeks ago now, but just what was that experience like to be in? You mentioned Maryland as your first college game. Well, JMU had at least that much energy in the stadium, if not more. Jason Vadley all over the field. What was that experience like for you as a freshman defensive lineman?
It was crazy. I was able to travel up to the Liberty game just with a couple other red shirts last year, and Coach Rocco said the atmosphere was, would be very similar, and it definitely was. Great fans on their part. It was loud the entire game. I know, it affected us just in the fact that it got us excited to, be there, be with them, be at that level, and it was definitely a unique, awesome experience.
All right, sitting over here listening to all that is the Grizzly veteran, the fifth-year senior, Caleb Hire. You kind of wishing maybe you were back in his shoes again as a freshman?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my redshirt freshman year was when we won the CAA, so that would be good to go back to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Repeat that.
How fast is it gone?
Oh, really fast. Time flies. It's crazy how fast it's gone, but it's been a good run. It's been 4 years of fun, that's for sure.
What has this year been like? You guys, as an offensive line, have been just outstanding.
Yes, sir. This year's been great. I think we're really enjoying playing together, the 5 guys we have up there. I mean, beside me is Nick Ritchie. You talked about having him on the show before. He was my roommate back our freshman and sophomore year, and we have some younger guys on the other side. Alex Light's a redshirt freshman, but he's going to be great. And then we have Nick Burgos at center, filling in for Austin Gunn and just leading the way, and of course Tom Evans. Everyone knows about him.
Yeah, he's been here too, but I think I'd rather be in the locker room sometime when Thomas starts getting going. He's kind of your verbal leader, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Tom loves to he loves to get the team going. Smash things, I guess you could say, or punch the locker, however he can to get everyone hyped. That's how Tom is. So.
Michael Toole, our facilities guy, is here today. You might not want to point out who's doing any damage in there. You and Nick have obviously been doing damage together for a long time on that line. You're both from Raleigh, but you really didn't know each other that well back in the high school days, did you?
No, we didn't. We started getting to know each other attending camps like junior year. I think I met him at the Duke camp first. We just started to get to know each other a little bit, trying to get a scholarship somewhere. I know we both ended up at Richmond and decided to be roommates. It was great. Worked out well.
And I think both of you have talked about really you don't need the verbal communication anymore between the two. There's a lot of calls along that offensive line, but the two of you really don't need it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're just so used to it at this point. We kind of just give them a little, like, you know what to do or something like that. Just kind of just say yeah. We'll really just do little code words and not even try to give stuff away. It's cool.
Danny, how significant is that for that offensive line that, as you said, is just having a terrific year that they know each other that well?
Yeah, the chemistry, I think, is very real. And the neat thing about the guys in that room, and I think Coach McCorkle does a great job with the offensive line, but they are fully invested. I mean, there's different personalities and there are different backgrounds and all that, but when it comes to football is important to the guys in that room. And I'm not saying it's not to guys in other rooms, but the fanfare is lacking sometimes in the offensive line room, and accolades sometimes are lacking, so it's not all about that. How many times are we going to get the ball? 0. We're not going to give you the ball, Caleb, So it's not that. It's just, they get their joy from winning, and then from being able to march the ball down the field and watch Jacoby punch it in, and that's a big deal. And I love watching it on film. One of the weirdest things for me is to watch film and to watch our kids celebrate. And when someone makes a run, someone makes a play, and a guy lineman gets up and looks, sees he's in the end zone, and kind of gives it one of those right there. So that's pretty cool. That's fully invested in the outcome, and so it's been a good group, no doubt. And we got a lot of work ahead of us, and we got to continue to be able to control the line of scrimmage.
Caleb, Coach mentioned Jacoby Green running the ball. Most offensive linemen say blocking for running backs is more fun than pass protecting for the quarterback, but you guys have been equally adept at both this year. I mean, you look at what Kyle's done, the time he's had back there to throw, but also what Jacoby's done. Talk just a little bit about the nuances, the differences when you get prepared to pass protect and then when you get ready to run block as well.
Yes, sir, for sure. I think the run game, I love to run the ball. I think it sets up the pass game, like you're saying. It's as an offensive lineman, at least in my opinion, it's a lot easier to pass protect when you've been running the ball well. Because you're not in the third down situations where the defensive linemen necessarily know that you're about to pass block them. So when they don't know that's coming, I think it's a lot easier as an offensive lineman to be able to block them and perform well. But yeah, the run game's been doing good. It's fun. I like it. Keep it up.
What has it been like, particularly the last 2 weeks, running the ball with Jacoby and the numbers that he's putting up there?
Yeah, starting off with the JMU game, that was a whole lot of fun. That was the most rushing yards we've ever put up since I've been here. So that was just, being a part of that is always awesome. And then last week, just again, almost 200 yards rushing for Jacoby. It's just, like you said, when you have someone running the ball like that, it's a lot more fun to punish someone in the way.
And are you almost making T.J. Moon an honorary member of the offensive line with what he's done?
Oh, yeah. T.J.'s an honorary member of Trench Mafia for sure. He's cutting people down and blocking them really good, so.
Danny is actually a guy that we haven't talked that much about because we have given the credit to the offensive line, but I can't tell you in my vision how many times you see Jacoby run and number 20 is right in front of him.
Yeah, and then, T.J. Moore's having a really good year, and his role has kind of been defined to be his role. A couple years ago, his role was a little different. He was carrying the ball a little bit more, and to his credit, he's kind of bought into what we need him to do. James Pavic is also another guy that is there when the ball is snapped. He is ready to go. And then our tight ends, so the ability to, be solid in the offensive line, create enough formation variation that they've got to be able to adjust and defend the flanks a little bit as we run the ball inside, outside, etc. And the production and the physicality of our O-line, our tight ends, and our fullbacks is really giving this play-action passing game an opportunity to create some space out there down the field.
All right, I was going to take a break, but before we do that, Matt Josephs has told me that we do have a caller on the line. Actually has a question for Caleb over here, so I want to get to that. We're running a little behind, but let's do that, and then we'll take a break and talk with these guys a little bit more. All right, Mike, thanks for calling in, 622-0950. You're up with Caleb High. Go ahead.
Hey, Caleb, just wanted to congratulate you on the great start so far this year. It's been a beautiful thing watching you go out there and just manhandle these people at the line of scrimmage in the trenches. Just want to, you come from a tradition of winning with Richmond, and I just want to know. You talked about the CA championship you won as a freshman. What, maybe another favorite memory or favorite teammates you've been able to play with in the past. Just wanted to hear your thoughts about your favorite experiences here at the school.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Going back to the 2012 championship, like you were talking about, that was when the Trench Mafia really first started. Those seniors that year was Jimmy Spiros, Mark Spear, those guys. They led the way for the Trench Mafia and how we started this winning tradition and playing really well as an O-line group.
Okay, thanks a lot, Caleb. I appreciate it, man. Good luck to you the rest of the year.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate the call. Let's take a time out. We'll come back with Caleb High and Andrew Clyde. Talk some more Spider football on the Spider Sports Live on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5, and the Spider IMG Sports Network, powered by Ace Electric.
Or change your career. Our degrees combine the latest theory with real-world applications to empower you with the critical knowledge and skills to take the next step in your professional life. Explore our newest graduate degrees in nonprofit studies and public history. Plus, check out our new bachelor's degree and certificate in information security. With evening classes and tuition starting at just $450 per semester hour, you can earn a University of Richmond degree on your terms. Visit spcs.richmond.edu for details. That's spcs.richmond.edu. The University of Richmond School of Professional and Continuing Studies. We work for working professionals.
Can you handle a full rack? Buzz can. He's been smoking, chopping, saucing, and glazing barbecue his way for over 30 years, specializing in succulent, spare, tender baby back, and jumbo beef ribs with recipes handed down for generations. And don't forget about the award-winning pulled pork sandwiches, cooked daily over Buzz's signature hickory smoked wood. Stop by the original location at 1119 North Boulevard in the Fan, or the new Buzz & Ned's Real Barbecue at 8205 West Broad Street in the West End.
It's out there lurking, big, tall, and green. The grass monster. Is cutting grass taking up too much of your valuable sports time? Arthur's Electric Service has the Toro Time Cutter mower that can significantly reduce your mowing time. Toro's simplified operation, zero-turn features, and comfortable ride will have you cutting smarter, not harder. Get the mower that's ready to cut when it goes out the door at Arthur's, located at 8910 Brook Road in Glen Allen. Stop by today to see the full line of Toro Time Cutters, or call 264-2513 to learn how you can save time and effort. And now, back to the game.
Hi, Bob Black here. As the voice of your Richmond Spiders, I see the fans' passion for our hometown team come to life each Saturday in the fall. UPS shares this same passion for helping businesses turn a challenge into a solution. Because they're not just in the shipping business, they're in the problem-solving business. Visit ups.com/solvers to see how UPS can help your team find the winning formula. UPS, official logistics company of Richmond Athletics.
Lunch is on the table, and the Spider Sports Line is on the air. Live from Outback Steakhouse, 7917 West Broad Street, on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5, and the Spider IMG Sports Network. Powered by Ace Electric.
Shotgun, Sussman a quarterback. As the football, Spiders are coming. Sussman is throwing deep down the near sideline, and David Jones reaches out and makes his third interception of the game. This one comes in the end zone.
Well, let's ask a defensive guy about David Jones' performance. He was National Player of the Week, CAA Defensive Player of the Week. Andrew, you're rushing the passer. You could hear in the highlight, here comes the pressure. You turn around after you get to the quarterback laying on the ground there, and you see David Jones doing it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, D. Jones is just a freak. Like, that's the best way to put it. He's probably one of the most athletic, if not the most just athletic guys on the team. And first one, it was great. Second one, he's having a good game. Then the third one, the fourth one came around, and you're like, every time the quarterback went back to pass, it's like, all right, David's gonna get this one.
Never been done before at Richmond. A school record for 4 interceptions. There was a long list of guys with 3, so that makes it even more impressive what he did Saturday afternoon with the 4 interceptions in the game against Albany. We're talking with Andrew Clyde, defensive side of the ball, Caleb High on the offensive side of the ball as the Spiders get set for New Hampshire this week. Guys, how are you now approaching where you're at? As Coach mentioned at the start of the show, taking care of business to this point. You've got 7, 8 seems to be a magic number. Obviously, you want 10 before the regular season is done. You got 3 more to go. Caleb, what's the mindset right now going into these last 3 games of the season and up to New Hampshire this week? Tough place to play.
Yes, sir. I think the mindset, like Coach always says, just stay in the course at this point. We won 7 straight. Just keep practicing hard. Keep, just looking at it. We have 3 games left. It's like a 3-game season, I guess you could say. You just kind of got to finish strong. And, the mindset for UNH is it's a big deal. I mean, I've never beat them since I've been here. They're the champs. They always have been every year. So it's a big deal. Go up there to their place and get a win would be just, huge.
Is there a little more of a sense of urgency for you at this point? I mean, this is your senior year. You've been here a long time. You got a lot of accolades, a lot of great memories, but it's last time around now.
Exactly. It's the last time around, last 3 games. I mean, I'm trying to soak it up and have fun and just, keep the team winning, keep everyone focused on, what we're trying to do here. And just, last 3 games, we can do it. That's what I want to tell everyone.
What do you tell younger guys, if anything, like Andrew Clyde, whose career is just starting out and knowing that, snap my fingers and you're going to be a senior already? What do you tell them?
Exactly. Just tell them, time flies, soak it up, keep balling. Clyde's a good player. I'm not worried about Clyde. He doesn't need much advice. He's all right.
Do you look at the seniors, though, Andrew, and say, this is their last go-around. We're having a good year. Someday it's going to be me before I know it, probably. What type of advice and leadership are you getting from the senior guys?
A ton of great advice, great leadership. Just, the biggest thing from them is take advantage of the opportunity. 4 years seems like a long time when you're at the beginning of that, but it flies by, like y'all been saying. And you go from, I guess when I came in, he had 2 years left from when I was being recruited, and I was like, all right, that's awesome. He's still got half his career here. And then I feel like I'm just now starting to play, and it's, kind of the other end of his career, and you really do see how fast everything goes.
Danny, I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse to get ahead of us here, but last year you had such a big senior class. What was it, 22 guys, something like that? 23 guys maybe? This year about half of that, but still very strong leadership.
Yeah, it's been great leadership. I've been saying all along that I think the team has a really good balance of, senior talent and leadership with young, youthful talent and enthusiasm. And, I've been kind of building this team from the top down and from the bottom up, all year long. And, I've been offering, insight to the seniors in terms of the significance of the moment and staying in the moment and have an understanding of the importance of each and every week. And then with the younger kids, I'm saying, hey, we're going to need you guys as this year progresses. And some of you guys can't quite figure out what that means right now, but you guys have got to start to grow and mature and develop. And a lot of them have, so we've got a good mix. And these senior players have offered the leadership that we need and the consistency of play. And I think some of the younger players are kind of offering a little more energy and enthusiasm. So, hopefully we can continue to kind of bottle that up and bring it, with us to the field here for these last 3 remaining regular season games.
Let's finish up here with Caleb and Andrew, and our fans, particularly those in the restaurant, always like a little background on these guys and off-the-field kind of stuff with them. So, Caleb, I will start with you. Fifth-year senior, what's next for you? What's the major? What do you think's coming beyond Richmond Spider football?
Well, I'm a political science major from Raleigh, North Carolina. So I think after this semester, I'll probably go back down there. It's not too far; it's only 2.5 hours. But I'm open to staying in Richmond, I guess. Had a nice sales internship for a couple of years, so maybe I'll pursue something in that.
Well, political science, today's probably an interesting day for you. What is it? A really big election
exactly,
day.
Yes, sir.
Kind of keeping track on what's happening at home in Raleigh and maybe a little bit here?
Yep. Talking about it in class and all that, so it's good stuff. It's good.
Very interesting. Andrew, we were just talking during the break. Got a little marketing in your major, right?
Marketing and management's kind of what I'm shooting for, but obviously, I've got a ways to go. Got lots of time to narrow it down, decide what I want, to do exactly. But just gotta, I guess, keep making good grades to keep the parents off me.
Hope they're listening, actually, right now. And Danny asked Andrew during the commercial break, how class is going. Very refreshing answer. He said they're fun. Didn't you? You actually said classes are fun.
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of get the boring ones out of the way and kind of get down to what you really want to do your sophomore year.
Awesome stuff. Really good stuff, fellas. Very proud of everything that you've done and will continue to do for both of you. Caleb Hyde, first time in 5 years. That one's on me. We should have had you here before now, and hopefully we'll get you back before this thing is over yet. And Andrew Clyde will be back many, many times. Thanks, fellas.
Appreciate it.
All right, hey, we're behind. Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back. Kind of running a little bit behind schedule today. Back for a moment on ESPN 950 and the Spider IMG Sports Network, powered by Ace Electric.
Hurry in to Outback for our limited time only steak and unlimited shrimp starting at just $15.99. Hurry in for our sirloin and unlimited garlic herb shrimp or unlimited crispy shrimp with new volcano sauce. And let the bold flavors speak for themselves. Outback Steakhouse, done right. There are 5 great Outback restaurants in the Richmond area. Visit Outback.com for the location nearest you. Prices, products, and participation may vary while supplies last. TNT Auto Rental and Limousine Service has you covered for all your car, van, and limo needs. They'll pick you up and take you to the airport or take care of you and your friends going to the big game with 7, 12, and 15-seat passenger vans. A TNT limo is perfect for that special occasion, like wine tours, weddings, proms, and holiday parties. Call TNT Auto Rental and Limousine Service at 804-270-2912. That's 270-2912.
We know what it's like, that persistent nagging feeling that will only go away when you get away. For those with a passion for travel, there's the new Discover It Miles card. You earn unlimited 1.5 miles for every dollar you spend, and you can fly any airline anytime with no blackout dates. Just buy your ticket and use miles to credit your statement. Apply now and Discover will double your miles at the end of your first year. So go on, scratch that travel itch. Get the new Discover It Miles card today. Limitations apply. Double miles for new card members only. Learn more at discover.com/miles.
The holiday season is hectic. Making sure your vehicle is winter ready shouldn't be. Let Dyke Tire Pros take the hassle out of your holidays. From November 2nd through November 29th, get up to $70 after mail-in rebate when you buy a set of 4 new BF Goodwrench brand passenger or light truck tires. Relax and enjoy the season with your family. Dyke Tire Pros will take care of getting you there. Dyke Tire Pros in Richmond. Online at DykeTire.com. See redemption form for complete offer details. Offer expires November 29, 2015. Void where prohibited.
This is the Spider Sports Line with head football coach Danny Rocco, live from Outback Steakhouse, 7917 West Broad Street, on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5, and the Spider IMG Sports Network. Powered by Ace Electric.
All right, good stuff today. Been a really good show. We got only a few minutes left. Got a couple of talk show kind of comments that I want to get from Coach Rocco on a couple of football subjects. Before I do, I'm actually not going to make him come up here, but I do want to introduce someone who's in the house today. One of our all-time great players, linebacker, Hall of Famer, played 10 years in the National Football League. Sean, I'm not going to make you come up and talk, but if you could just stand up and wave. Sean Barber is here today at Outback Steakhouse. He lives in Kansas City. Just finished up some coaching up in Brooklyn, and Sean's got a really unique job right now with I guess it's with the NFL. I don't know if it's with Kansas City or the NFL. He's what we would, in a fun way, call the logo police. He is the uniform security officer for the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't even really know such a position existed, Danny. I think you probably did from your background, that before every game they got to make sure the guys are wearing the right stuff on their uniforms, right?
And you have to have a good education to do that job, and I know he's got one, so they got the right guy there, no doubt.
It does have some perks, because Sean just got back from London because the Chiefs play the Lions in London, and Kansas City was designated the home team. So Sean's been doing a lot of traveling. He was I think we were in the Atlantic 10 back when he won Defensive Player of the Year honors in 1997, was part of some great Spider teams. So, Sean, we welcome you. Enjoy lunch back there, and look forward to seeing you at some Spider games. All right, a couple of topics. One, a couple of our fans brought up, Coach. What did you make of the 8 lateral play in the Duke-Miami game Saturday night? And I will tell you, I was flipping back and forth between games, and I literally picked that game up on the 4th lateral when it was going and had no clue what was going on. I assume you've seen it.
Yeah, I have. I mean, oh boy, I feel so badly for Duke. I mean, I just there were so many things I think that happened on that play that really should have not allowed that play to be considered successful. And I don't really understand the dynamics of the process that allowed that play to stand, you know. But as I watched it, I saw 2 or 3 things right off the bat that I'm like, well, you can't do that, and you can't do that, and whatever. I think it's a shame in a way. That a game would come down to that right there. It's a play that we do practice. You know, it's a play that it would never get executed the way you practice it. I mean, there's no way that you could ever practice it and then execute it the exact same way. And it's backyard football. It is the thing you have to do in that situation. And to their credit, they had enough awareness as to what they had to do to try to advance the ball down the field. But and then obviously the ACC has weighed in, and I guess they made suspensions right there. But it just such a painful way to lose a football game, especially under those circumstances.
Yeah, they did admonish the officials. I think they suspended them for 2 weeks, and it was both on field and in the booth. So the outcry was, well, why can't you change the outcome of the game because of that? As a coach, would you be in favor that they could literally have changed the outcome and said, no, Duke does win this game?
No.
Okay.
I think when you walk off the field and the decision is made, I think the decision is made. I think it has to be made. And, if you're going to have that rationale when you're thinking, then you've got to wait as long as you got to wait to make the right decision before you send the teams in the locker room. But when you send the teams in the locker room, there's so many other things that can come into play. When you start talking about outside influences and et cetera, and it just creates I think, an uncomfortable situation. So whatever the mechanism is, when those officials get together, and they walk out and they say, game over, game's got to be over. And they did take 9 minutes, I think, to actually get to game over. And it looks like they had it wrong, but the game was over, and it's in the books. Once it's in the books, it's in the books.
And really, I mean, there could have been a play at the end of the first half that could have decided the game as well. I think this has just gotten magnified because it was the very last play.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and that's very true and very real. But again, from the last quarter, the last drive of the game, Duke was playing the game to the circumstances and the score and the time of the game. So they really, in theory, were able to finish and win, and then the way it got extended right there, I think just defies, logic. So very frustrating if you're a Duke fan, that much for sure.
Very interesting stuff, and crazy play to begin with, as we said.
Well, I think I heard that Miami had 24 or 25 penalties in the game.
Yeah.
So there's this counter argument that says, well, it's not like we didn't call out of penalties on Miami because we did, but that's irrelevant in officiating that play, so.
8 laterals. Let me know when you're going to practice that one out there. I'd like to watch at least the practice.
We practice it Thursday, and it's more though with our offense than our kickoff return team. But we do have a multiple lateral game, and then so I've seen them one time lateral back to Caleb, and I'm like that is not a good decision. They all want to look, I'm open. No, do not flip it back to a 300-pounder. Okay.
Good stuff. Hey, the other one I want to just have you weigh in on a little bit here, and I don't even know if you know him at all. I know you've coached against him, but certainly a lot of attention on Frank Beamer in the last 24 to 48 hours. 29 years at Virginia Tech. Just as a fellow coach, what resonates through your emotion when you see a guy like that who has meant so much, not just to Tech and Blacksburg, but truthfully to college football announcers?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you asking that question. I've got great respect for Coach Beamer, and not only what he's done there for the football program at Virginia Tech, but what he's done for the university, what he's done for the community, what he's done for the region here in the area of athletics and in the area of enthusiasm and excitement, and the way he's impacted the lives of so many young people and student athletes. And when you played for Coach Beamer, Coach Beamer was loyal to you, and they're loyal to him, and he is a first-class man all the way. And I'm hoping that that he can feel that he was able to do it on his terms, and that's the most challenging thing, I think, in coaching, is to be able to do things at the end on your terms, and for all the success that he has had, to be able to have a big win on the road last week, come back and say, you know what, I think it's time to do this, to feel good about being in that moment and making that decision. And, I played in the ACC at Wake Forest. Virginia Tech wasn't in the league at that time. And I was at BC, I think, when Virginia Tech was in the Big East, and I was at Virginia when the ACC came back together. So a lot of these transitions I've been really close to. and got great admiration for Coach Beamer, his program, and more importantly for him as a human being and as a man, and very hopeful that he was able to feel like he kind of was able to go out on his terms, and I'm sure he's going to finish off the season and do what he can to finish that thing off right.
You mentioned that loyalty, and this was brought up in the press conference yesterday. If you get a chance, watch it. I mean, it will choke you up a little bit. It was really emotional to watch. Yes, I think it's on Tech's website. After 6 years at Tech, he had a losing record.
Yeah.
And they stuck with him. And even he said, in this day and age, in this modern era in 2015, that might not have happened. He might not have been Tech's coach if he had that record in 2015. Does that kind of make some sense to you?
No, it's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fact. You know, Mac Brown tells the same story when he was down at Chapel Hill, you know, when he got started down there, and how, you know, it's just tough to get it up and running, tough to get it going, trying to change the culture, and then it just took some time, took a little patience on the part of the athletic director there and the support there, and then he got it up and going, and you're exactly right. There's loyalty on both ends there, as Frank spent a lot of time in Blacksburg, and a lot of his staff has been there for a long time also.
All right, focus back in on Spider football now, Coach.
Yes, sir.
New Hampshire, Saturday, 3 o'clock. We'll look forward to getting up there and getting after the Wildcats.
Okay, thank you very much.
And thanks again, Caleb High and Andrew Clyde and everybody in the restaurant. Thank you for being here as well. Good edition of the Spider Sports Line. Sean Barber again, welcome back. Good to have you with us as well. Matt Joseph has produced our show today. Mitchell Bradley here on location at the restaurant. For Coach Rocco, Bob Black saying so long. We're on the air at 2:30 Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff. Spiders at New Hampshire. Television on NBC Sports Network. Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Greet you then. Thanks for being with us today. So long from Outback, the Spider Sports Line. So long, everyone.